สวัสดีค่ะ Welcome to Hot Thai Kitchen. Today, I want to dig a little deeper into the whole grain colorful rice, so the red, the brown, and the black rice, and talk about different ways you can cook them. So not just cooking it up plain as a side dish, because we all know how to do that, but how can you actually incorporate it into a recipe, okay? And nowadays, these colorful rices are so popular in Thailand. People are coming up with all sorts of different ways to use it. So I'm going to share some with you. Let's get started. So I'm going to quickly go over what rices we're talking about and also how to cook them briefly. For more information on any of this rice, check out my previous series and I will link to that in the description below. So today I'm talking about Thai brown rice, Thai red rice, and also rice berry. That is my personal favorite. So to cook these, the process is not different from cooking white rice. You give it a quick rinse and you can cook it in your rice cooker or just use a pot on the stove. And as for how much water you need, for all of these types of rice, you want to use 1 part rice to 1.5 to 2 parts water. And I'm giving you a range for water because it depends on a few different factors. First, how much steam you lose when you cook it. And that's going to depend on how high your heat is and how tight fitting your lid is, right? And then secondly, what are you using that rice for? Are you using it for salad, for soup, for fried rice? And all of that we'll talk about in a little bit. And also, your particular rice will also affect how much water you actually need. So it's something that you will try it out at home. Start with less. You can always add more water, but if you add too much, then there's no going back. And now that we've got rice perfectly cooked, what are we gonna do with it? Rice salad. Yes, if you've never done a rice salad, you are missing out. It's a thing we do in Thailand. Actually, one of my favorite recipes is khao yam, which is a southern style Thai rice salad. I have a recipe for it. And rice berry is actually my favorite rice to use in salads because not only does it add texture, a unique aroma, it also adds a beautiful color that makes your salad so much more interesting. You can try tossing it into a lap, which is usually made up of all meat. So do half meat, half rice. And it doesn't even have to be a Thai salad. The Italians also do rice salad, or maybe you can try doing something like a tabbouleh would be really good. My only advice for making a rice salad is make sure the rice is not refrigerated. It can be room temperature, it can be warm, but you do not want to put the rice in the fridge because once rice gets super cold, it becomes hard and brittle and it's not a good texture. So think warm or room temp salad. The other ingredients can be cold, just the rice itself shouldn't be. And if it's been previously refrigerated, just nuke it in the microwave to get it heated and soft again, and then you're good to go. So I've got several brands of rice berry to show you today. These are the ones that are available in Canada, just so you have an idea of what to look for when you're out shopping. There's also organic versions as well, grown without pesticides. So lots of different options for you. Try looking for these in Asian grocery stores, and more specifically, Thai grocery stores might have them. Fried rice. Yes, you can use any of these colored rices to make fried rice. Not only that, it's actually a little easier to do because being whole grains, these colored rices have almost like a jacket of fiber all around them. That's a healthy stuff, and that prevents the rice from clumping. So your grains will separate beautifully. You never have to worry about, getting all the clumps out. Now you can make fried rice with brown, red, or rice berry, but my personal favorite is actually the brown because the flavor is milder, so it'll still show off whatever sauces or spices you add to it. And also the color is lighter. So if you're using curry powder like in a pineapple fried rice, it's still gonna be beautiful yellow. You're making green curry fried rice, you can still see the green. If you use rice berry, it will taste fine. It's just gonna be like the same color no matter what you do to it. And here's a tip for cooking whole grain rice for fried rice. You know how when you use white rice for fried rice, we're all worried about making sure the rice is not too wet, otherwise it's gonna get mushy. Well, you kind of have to worry about the opposite problem here, is making sure you don't undercook the rice. You really want to cook it until the little fiber jackets around the rice open. Expose the inside starchy bit because that's the part that's going to absorb all of your sauces. So I've got a few packages to show here of brown rice. Now there's the organic brown rice and also the jasmine brown rice. So all of these will cook up the same way and will work just fine. Another thing you can use these colored rices for is soup. Here people love making like chicken and wild rice soup or beef and barley soup or putting lentils or grains into soup. Well, you can do the same with Thai whole grain colored rices. And this is what I love using the red rice for because it is less starchy and firmer, so it holds its shape really well. It's not going to like gum up your soup or like disintegrate into the soup, and it's also really pretty. Just stir some cooked red rice into your soup at the end, let it simmer for just a couple minutes to heat up and absorb the flavor, and you are good to go. You can also make congee for all of my congee lovers, and red rice makes the most beautiful congee. The only thing is, red rice is not starchy enough to make that creamy congee texture, so you have to mix in some white rice. I typically do half and half, but you can't get away with just a quarter white rice, just something to bind it all together. Here are a few different packages of red rice to share with you. Now, the thing with red rice, you might see it go by a few different names. So I've got red rice here and then red cargo rice here. You might see red Vita rice. They're all just different names that people decide to call them in English. And even though there are slight variations between red rices, they all cook up the same way and taste very similar, so I wouldn't worry about that. And sushi! Yes, you can make riceberry sushi. I was actually really surprised. I didn't think it would be sticky enough, but riceberry of all the colors is actually the starchiest, and it's just sticky enough to make sushi. And trust me, I am not good at rolling sushi, and if I can manage, you can manage too. My only advice for making riceberry for sushi is you want to make sure you cook it enough. So I always use the 2-part water to 1-part rice ratio, because if the grains don't burst open enough, there's not going to be enough starch that comes out. That's going to create the stickiness between the rice. And you just follow your regular sushi rice recipe, make it the exact same way, et voila, you got riceberry sushi. Finally, desserts. Yes, in Asia, rice is an integral part of our desserts. And nowadays in Thailand, people are making all sorts of desserts with riceberry because it's got that stickiness and starchiness and a beautiful color that works well in desserts. I've seen riceberry popsicle, riceberry khanom krok, which is those little coconut cakes. But the easiest way to use it in dessert is to make rice pudding. You can make rice pudding Asian style. I have a recipe for that, but because it's whole grain, you're gonna wanna add some cornstarch slurry to help bind it together. Top it with a little coconut milk, garnish it with some fruit, delicious. You can even do a Western style rice pudding, add some cream, some vanilla. It's going to end up beautiful, looking like chocolate rice pudding, and it's so delicious. And that is it. I hope I gave you lots of ideas to get you exploring different colors of rice, and I will see you next time. สวัสดีค่ะ